Here's the thing about parenting. Sometimes we do things that we aren't proud of. And if you've done that as a parent, you're human. And it's okay. We can learn from experiences that we've had. So no matter how you parented yesterday or years ago, or things you've done that you regret, it's not too late to change your ways. It's not too late to be a better parent. You can absolutely show up differently starting today. I want to help you feel empowered to do so. Not feel shame, not feel guilt, maybe to recognize I've done something that I shouldn't, or I've parented in a way that I shouldn't, and feeling empowered and able and capable of parenting in a different way. The first way we can do this is to acknowledge what I've done in the past. Is it a good way? If not, if I need to tweak some things, I can do that. I'm capable of changing. And to show up and be humble and willing to change. When we show up and we try to make excuses for our behavior, that doesn't help us change. Instead of that, we need to show humility and say, you know what? I don't feel good about the way I've been showing up as a parent, so I'm going to change my ways. I know there's a better way. And I'm going to show up with humility, and I'm going to strive to learn and do things differently and do things better. So as we're humble, then we can learn. And then as a parent, what we need to do is show up with love. Let me guarantee you that the people in your life will probably disappoint you. They'll probably do things you don't love or agree with. But how we show up to that as a parent will make all the difference. I once heard a quote that literally changed my life, and it wasn't even with children. It was with another adult. And the quote says, "Never let a problem to be solved become more important than a person to be loved." And that's by Thomas S. Monson. I loved that quote because it put the problem in perspective, and it helped me realize that there are going to be problems, but I shouldn't put the problem before the person. I should always put the person first and show love. And that doesn't mean we don't need to hold people accountable or have boundaries or expectations. Of course we can have those. But we're also not going to over-consequence and punish when there is a problem. We're still going to show up with love and guide and help our children through a situation. We're going to do that by not overreacting. We're going to do that by having meaningful conversation, asking your child, how does that make you feel? Or why do you think you did that? And taking the time to respect them and hear them out. That's how we can show up when a problem arises. We're going to make sure that we don't overreact, because if we overreact during those moments, that just signals to the child, whoa, they freaked out. I'm not going to tell them next time, or I'm not going to come to them when I have a big problem or a little problem, because they're going to overreact. So how we show up absolutely matters. And we're going to help support that conversation and change our parenting by showing up and staying calm. Now, inside, you might be so frustrated, and that frustration might be building. But when we're in a conversation with someone and we would choose anger normally, but now we're trying to parent differently and not choose anger, it's okay to be upset inside. It's okay to have those emotions, but we're going to show up to the conversation with our child differently. Instead of showing up with anger and frustration, we're going to stay calm. And we're going to use simple statements and simple phrases and use that repeating parrot is what I call it. A repeating parrot is just a short, simple phrase that you can just repeat. It helps keep you calm. It helps the child know that they have been heard. So if you're having a meaningful conversation, then obviously you're going to just be naturally conversing. But as that anger starts to build and you're not sure what to say, you can give your explanation one time. One time. And the power in just giving your explanation one time is that usually when we give an explanation, we say it in a calm tone. But if we go into lecturing, the kids ignore us. And if we go into repeating, usually that calm tone that we started out with is not calm anymore. So it's important to keep your explanation towards your child that maybe you would have gotten angry with. Now in this moment, you're going to change your parenting. Just give the explanation one time. And then if they start complaining or sassing and saying, but it's not there, and then my friends never have to, and why do I always have to? And it's it's the worst, and they're just complaining. You can then, because you've given the explanation one time after that, instead of repeating yourself, instead of going into a lecture, you can simply use that repeating parrot, which is just a short phrase. So it's helping you not go into the lecture, and it's helping you stay calm, and it's helping the child know that they're heard. And what that sounds like, the phrase I like to use oftentimes is, I understand, but it's not fair and I can't believe. And I just say, I understand. And we say that with sincerity, not sarcasm. Now, let's say they throw something at us like, you're the worst, or I hate you. Now, oftentimes when parents hear language like this, they think about how they may have parented in the past. Maybe they would have attacked at that and said, that is not okay. You do not talk to me in our home like that. We do not use that language. And we have a raised voice, or we have veins bulging, or a red face. And guess what? The reason we don't respond like that, say we were calm before, but all of a sudden that trigger phrase or those trigger words we reacted to, what that signals to the child is, oh, that worked. So maybe we might start hearing that phrase more. So even if they throw those phrases at you or those trigger words that are totally unacceptable, we're still going to choose, in this positive and intentional parenting style, we're still going to choose to stay calm. And then the repeating parrot phrase that you can choose, that small, simple statement phrase that you can choose in a situation like that, would be something like, I'll always love you. Just to show them, no matter what words you're yelling at, that you're always going to love them, even though they say those words. Now you may be thinking, but it is not okay for my child to speak to me like that. I agree. It's not. It's also not the right time to teach them why that's inappropriate, because they are in a space for what I refer to as they are in the red zone. And when they're in the red zone, they are not functioning properly. The cylinders are not functioning properly. Yet, this is often the time parents try to teach, and it's a very ineffective time to teach. So, while they've said these words or that phrase that's inappropriate, you're not going to deal with it in the moment. You're going to stay calm. You're going to respond with love by using that repeating parrot phrase of, I will always love you. And then later, when their emotions have calmed down and they have come down from that red zone, remember up here's the red zone, and anyone can go there. You can go there, your kids can go there, teenagers can go there, adults can go there, coworkers, bosses, other adults, anyone can go into the red zone. And when they go there, they will come down over time, depending on how you react oftentimes. So if you can stay calm, the more you can stay down here instead of up here, and you can stay calm, then there's something that is called an extinction burst, and they will come down. I also refer to this in my program as a behavior burst. As you don't feed that behavior and you just stay right here and you stay calm, and you're using that repeating parrot, that simple phrase, whether that's I understand or I will always love you, and you can think of your own. You don't have to use my phrase. Whatever phrase fits you. And it's just a way to stay calm, to not repeat yourself, to not go into lectures, and they eventually will come down. And that depends on the child's temperament and other environmental things that may be going on. But your consistency here is what will matter. So again, if you are parenting in a way that you're not proud of and you want to change some things, you can show up differently. It is not too late. A tagline I often use within my curriculum is, it's never too early and it's never too late to increase the peace in your home. You are capable of doing this as the parent. You are capable of changing how that environment feels, all in the way that you react to the person, to the child, to the teen. Now remember, problems are going to arise, just like that quote I shared. Never let a problem to be solved become more important than a person to be loved. Put the person first. Even though they have that problem and you may or may not be able to deal with it right then or change that problem, show up with love as the parent, as the adult.